pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided as follows. By having the time, date, and place of meeting posted on the bulletin board in the Administration Building, January 8, 2020, by sending a copy of the meeting notice to the Star Ledger newspaper and the Union County local source on April 14, 2020, and by filing a copy with the Township of Hillside and the Hillside Public Library on January 17, 2020. Roll call.
Ms. Best?
Present.
Ms. Harmon?
Present.
Mr. Howard is walking in. Mr. Lofton? Here. Mr. Robinson?
Here.
Mr. Salters? Here. Mr. Shapiro? Here. Ms. Wall?
Here.
Ms. Cook?
Here. At this time, we're going to start our presentations to the class of 2020. At this time, Ms. Best is going to present 2 awards.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to acknowledge 2 recipients, 2 senior students who received awards for Union County Student Athlete of the Year. It's 1 female and 1 male. The female athlete was given to Chidima Brittany Igwe with a 3.9 GPA. She will be attending Rutgers University North Campus this fall, majoring in Health Service Sciences. She will also participate on the Rutgers North track team as a sprinter. She received the 2019 Outdoor Track and Field 400-meter Union County Valley Division Champion, 2017, 18, and 19 Penn Relay Outdoor Track and Field Qualifier and Track Captain. She was also the 2019 All-Conference Selection for Volleyball, and she was also a member of the Athletic Training Club. Let's give a round of applause to Ms. Igwe. The male athlete recipient is Mr. James Lewis with another 3.9 GPA.
Just one second, please.
We're having an issue with the sound.
So the lady was technical difficulties. We're going to start our presentation over with Ms. Best.
Good evening, everyone. I will be reading the 2 female and male athlete recipients of the Union County Student Athlete of the Year Award. Each athlete will receive $3,000 scholarship along with a commemorative UCI-AC watch provided by the Union County Interscholastic Athletic Association. The female athlete of the year is Ms. Chidima Brittany Igwe. She has a 3.9 GPA and will be attending Rutgers University North Campus this fall, majoring in Health Sciences. She will also participate on the Rutgers North track team as a sprinter. She received the 2019 Outdoor Track and Field 400-meter Union County Valley Division Champion Award. She also received 2017, 2018, and 2019 Penn Relay Outdoor Track and Field Qualifier and Track Captain. She was the 2019 All-Conference Selection for Volleyball, and she is also a member of the Athletic Training Club. The male athlete of the year recipient goes to Mr. James Lewis with a 3.9 GPA as well. He will be attending Morehead State University this fall, majoring in engineering. He will also participate on the Morehead State University varsity football team. He was the 2018 and 2019 back-to-back Union County Conference Mountain Division Long Jump Track and Field Champion, the 2020 Track and Field Meet of Champion Qualifier in the high jump, 3-time state champion in football, the 2017 and 2018 All-Conference Selection for football, the 2019 All-County Selection for football, and he also served as the Vice President of the Hillside High School Student Council and National Honor Society. Let's give both athletes a round of applause. At this time now, we're going to have Mr. Robinson read
two recipients of the Union County freeholders, one for our valedictorian, Alicia Mendoza, and our salutatorian, Gloria Perella. Mr. Robinson.
Dear graduates, congratulations. On behalf of the Union County Board of Chosen Freeholders, we would like to honor your success with an award and program on Thursday, June 30th, 2020 at 4 p.m. The program will be live via Zoom on the County of Union's Facebook page. The event theme, the Quest for Academic Excellence, a county conversation with 2020 graduates, is hosted by the freeholders with special remarks and discussions with college graduates who also excel academically this year. In addition, the virtual award ceremony and program invites top students from each high school in Union County in a moderated format. We encourage your superintendent, principal, school community, and family to attend the program. As an awardee, please provide email address, cell phone number, college you're attending, and or the 2021 plan, and confirm or decline your ability to participate virtually. Please notify our aide, Nico Michelundis, via email at michelundis@ucnj.org or by phone at 908-578-0695. Congratulations again. Sincerely, Alexander Mirabella, the chairman, and Angela R. Garrettson, Freeholder Program Chair.
Congratulations to both ladies, Alicia Cardosa and Gloria Perella. Let's give them a big round of applause. At this time, we're going to have our principal of Hillside High School, Ms. Sid, will come up for a presentation to the class of 2022.
Last week, I chanced across a quote that really captured the spirit of this year's graduating class. It was from Mahatma Gandhi. He said, "Man often becomes what he believes himself to be. If I keep saying to myself that I cannot do a certain thing, it is possible that I may end by really becoming incapable of doing it. On the contrary, if I have the belief that I can do it, I shall surely acquire the capacity to do it, even if I may not have it at the beginning." Well, I have known many of the seniors since they were in 3rd grade, when I was principal at George Washington School. Even then, I knew they were special. Why? Sheer optimism. I've been in education 34 plus years, and I've never seen a group of young men or women as positive, as genuine, as caring as these. Every day, I have 3 or 4 different seniors drop by my office just to say hello. And they'd enter with such energy and charisma, it really supercharged my day. And humor, I can't tell you how often they had me in tears from laughing. Right, Angela? Yeah. But their care didn't just extend to me, you see. It went to their teachers and even more to their classmates. I have a great memory, and I can tell you honestly, I cannot remember a group with such camaraderie, one so willing to celebrate each other's successes. And let's talk about those successes. Whether we're talking about scholarship awards, varsity football, 3-peat state titles, dance and drama performances, teen arts recognition, academic competitions, TV production presentations, coming into Hillside High School each day with these seniors was like being tuned into your favorite radio station. No commercials, no interruptions, just endless hits. How amazing are these seniors? I'll tell you in the clearest terms possible. 2020 has been such a difficult year that I know adults who have crumbled under its force. Let's be honest, it has been catastrophe after catastrophe. Had it been any other group of seniors, we would not have seen the success amidst the chaos that we've seen. These students have looked 2020 dead in the eye and said, "No, you're not going to stop me. I cannot be broken. My heart is too big, my will too strong." They just didn't stand their ground, they pushed back and won. If I have the belief that I can do it, I shall surely acquire the capacity to do it even if I may not have it at the beginning, Gandhi said. Our graduating class is living embodiment of these words. They aren't just a success to themselves. They're an inspiration to all of us. And it has been a wonderful highlight in my career to work for and with them. I never had more Hillside pride than I have with the class of 2020, because I know for sure nothing can stop the comets they are. Thank you.
At this time, we're going to play a video from our class of 2020 as they say goodbye. Actually, it's going to play again for the full class.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again. Yeah, who knew? All the planes we flew, the things we've been through, that I'll be standing right here talking to you about another path. I know we love to hit the road and laugh, but something told me that it wouldn't last. Had to switch up, look at things different, see the bigger picture. Those were the days, hard work forever pays. Now I see you in a better place. You in a better place. How can we not talk about feelings and feelings all that we got? Everything I would do, you were standing there by my side. And now you gon' be looking for the last ride. It's been a long day without you, my friend. And I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. See you again. We've come a long way. We've come a long way. From where we began. You know we started. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. Tell you. When I see you again. broken, the love will never get lost. And when brotherhood comes first, then the line will never be crossed. Established it on our own when that line had to be drawn, and that line is what we do. So remember me when I'm gone. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side. And now you gon' be with me for the last ride. Let the light guide your way. Yeah. Hold every memory as you go, and every word you take will always lead to home. Oh, it's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again. First you both go out your way and the vibe is feeling stronger. What's small turn to a friendship turn to a bond, and that bond will never be broken, the love will never get lost. And when brotherhood comes first, then the line will never be crossed. Established it on our own when that line had to be drawn, and that line is what we do. So remember me when I'm gone. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side. And now you gon' be with me for the last ride. Let the light guide your way. Yeah. Hold every memory as you go, and every word you take will always lead to home. Oh, it's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you.
That was wonderful from our graduating class of 2020. To the class of 2020, we are proud of all of you. And we can't wait to see you again. And we'll see you July 12th for your in-person graduation on Woodfield Stadium Field. We salute you all, and here we are dedicating this official Hillside High School Class of 2020 commemorative mask to be worn at your graduation. It has been 1 year for you. One is definitely to hit the history books. So we will proudly display this commemorative mask inside the high school for years to come as we honor the class of 2020 for overcoming this unforeseen 2020 COVID-19. We salute you, and this is the official mask that will be worn with your caps and gowns at your in-person graduation.
Up to new business on the agenda. It states on the agenda the renaming of the Calvin Coolidge and George Washington schools. In addition to that, we're asking for any public suggestions regarding the building names be sent to the HBOE meeting email account that's on the front page of the agenda. And any comments, questions, suggestions will all be considered through July 14th by the Board of Education. That same email account has been used once again to gather up any questions, comments regarding our agenda and beyond. We have about 15 minutes where Mr. Gregory and I will address as many as possible. Understand what I'm about to read. All comments regarding the transfers of teachers and principals, that's a personnel matter. So I will just state what was stated, but we will not respond. The first one is from Sasha Silva. Good afternoon, board team. It's come to my attention that Ms. Geiger is being transferred to GW school. She's been a positive role model to my son, and he will be extremely saddened to hear this news. I'm requesting that Ms. Geiger stay at Calvin Coolidge School and does not get transferred to GW. Next page. There's copies for all the board members. Ashley Geiger. I'm a third grade teacher at Calvin Coolidge, and I'm on the agenda to be moved to George Washington. I'm writing this letter to ask you to please consider not moving me. I moved from Hurd and Looker last year to Calvin Coolidge this year, and to move again will be devastating to me. I've formed a bond with the CC staff as well as the students. Calvin Coolidge is a team that works together to create a safe place for our students. My switch partner, Rachel Fernandez, and I have worked together the past 2 years. We moved from Hurd and Looker to Calvin Coolidge together and created a bond that produces a welcoming environment for both of our classes. We have spent countless hours planning together and creating the best for our students. I'm also an advisor of the Girls Rock Science program at CC with Robin Siegel. Robin and I have created a STEM experience for 33 girls ranging from 2nd to 6th grade, taking trips to NJIT together to learn new ways to teach the girls in the program. We also planned, designed, and implemented engaging activities together. Co-teaching this program with Robin allowed the girls to understand directions and implement them into creating projects. At the time of the pandemic, we were asked to change our way of teaching from in-person to over a computer screen. We all came together as a team and not only did what was asked, but we went way above and beyond by staying in constant contact with our students and parents, preparing virtual lessons, conducting Google Meets, and made sure our students' emotional well-being was okay. To end the year, Rachel and I went door to door of all our students' houses to give them an end-of-the-year celebratory gift and to wish them a happy summer. Please do not move me to another school and disrupt this bond that we share at Calvin Coolidge. From baby Razak, my 9-year-old daughter that attends CC, it's been brought to my attention that a particular teacher by the name of Ms. Geiger has been reassigned to GW for the 2021 school year. My daughter was in her homeroom class for the 1920 school year, and based on my daughter's experience and my personal interaction, I can attest to Ms. Geiger's performance as a teacher. I would have to say she is one of the most wonderful and caring teachers I have ever met. It can be seen through her actions, whether she is providing extra help to her students if they're unsure of the material, to be accessible during late hours if any parent, including myself, may have any last-minute questions. Ms. Geiger is an adored teacher, and I'm positive her presence during the reopening of schools will give some reassurance to CC students who may have anxieties or concerns due to COVID-19. Although she could bring the same qualities to GW, students will appreciate the familiarity and assurance she adds to the atmosphere of the school, especially in a global pandemic. It isn't a secret that a sense of normalcy has been restored. Ms. Geiger's presence will surely enable a smooth transition to a new norm during this unprecedented time. My name is Rachel Fernandez, the next one, and I've been teaching at Hillside for 15 years. Most of my years were at Hurd and Looker until I got transferred at the end of last year. I entered Calvin Coolidge for the 1920 school year, and it immediately felt like a family. I feel it would be not beneficial to move any staff this coming year. Ms. Geiger is my team teacher, and we create a friendly and welcoming environment to all our classes. I've seen Ms. Westervelt's re-spark love of teaching this year because of the wonderful work environment that Mr. Graham has created for all of us. All the teachers and staff work so hard to form a bond, especially after the shift from the previous school year. During the global pandemic, it's not the time to change our work environment. Do not know how school will be in September, and to shift teachers and principals will make everything even more difficult. Please consider not reassigning in the upcoming school year. Tanisha Minto, I'm a parent at AP Morris of an AP Morris scholar. and after reading the Board of Education meeting agenda, I was shocked to see the possibility of transferring our principal, Ms. Lowe, to Calvin Coolidge. I adamantly oppose this motion as Ms. Lowe is a huge part of our AP Morris family and an important part of our children's lives. She makes each and every student feel safe and welcome. She has also an extensive knowledge of the school, and during this especially trying time, a change of this caliber would be unacceptable. Same language used by Jillian Sika on the next page. Same language used by Vanetta Butler on the next page. Same language used by Juliana Saravia on the next page. And same language used by Chanel Jenkins on the next page. And same language used by Erica Segara. And same language used by Fabian Sousa. All requesting Ms. Lowe remain in AP Morris. Lanice Caesar is the next one. I'm writing this letter on behalf of my co-worker, Ms. Ashley Geiger, who was on the agenda to be transferred from Calvin Coolidge to George Washington, and hope that you will reconsider and not transfer her. I had the pleasure of working with Ms. Geiger this year as a third grade inclusion teacher, and she has not only built a wonderful rapport with myself and the rest of the teaching staff, but also with the students. The classroom environment that she has created is very welcoming and very conducive to the students' learning needs. During this time of pandemic, when learning was switched from the classroom to virtual overnight, not only has Ms. Geiger, but all the teachers at Calvin Coolidge gone well above beyond what was expected to ensure that each and every student received the same quality of education. Marissa Bell West, a couple of questions. I see you're planning on moving administrators around at AP Morris, CC, and WOK. Very much in disagreement with this move. At WOK, we just moved Miss Vicki Palmer-Dillard as principal. WOK is a revolving door for administrators and staff. How do we expect to fix the issues at WOK if every 6 months we're shifting personnel and administrators? There's no consistency for the kids and no consistency for the staff. We can't move forward if every time we take steps to reset the starting line. At Calvin Coolidge last year, we were concerned about the changes in administration during the year where we were configuring schools to grades 2 to 6. It's going to be a big change, and most parents thought that administrators should at least see the year through. Well, 6 months into the year, we were hit the biggest challenge of my time, the pandemic, learning remotely. It was new to all of us, and there was no manual. We all had to figure things out. A lot of things that couldn't be done better, and I hope that our feedback will guide you to making better decisions. We don't know what will happen in September. We don't know if we will continue our classes remotely. Why would we move around administrators that know their schools and teachers the best in an unsteady time? AP Morris is a lovely school, it's well run, and we as parents expect the most out of our teachers and administrators when entrusting our precious children, especially for this first time. Ms. Lowe is fantastic. She's put a lot of sweat equity into the things that make AP Morris special. She knows her staff well, and she knows the parents and kids. She is exactly what AP Morris needs. She knows the ins and outs of running a pre-K 3 and 4 program. Why would we move her? Next year, if we continue remotely, AP Morris deserves the administrator that knows the school and staff inside out. Why is the reason we are moving administrators at the time? Lastly, I filled out a survey and appreciated the request for feedback. Thank you. One of the questions asked about the different scenarios returning in September. Just want to make sure you guys consider working parents when you make the decision on the return. For example, having an AM and PM session will be disastrous for working parents. Also, will stepping stones be involved in your discussions because Hillside is a town of working people? We depend on the services of before and after care in order to make things work. I'll turn it over to Mr. Gregory just to respond to that last piece about what September looks like as it comes up in the 2 questions that he has to address as well.
Good evening, everyone. So we are anxiously awaiting New Jersey's school reopening plan, which is anticipated to be released tomorrow. We have established a school reopening committee and have been planning for multiple scenarios. The other thing I just want to make sure I'm clear on is we will definitely continue our services with Stepping Stone. We just need to know more clearly what direction we'll be headed in September. The next one is a series of questions from Janae Brathwaite. Since the governor has reduced restrictions, at which point will the format of the board meetings change back to being open to the public? The limit announced on Monday was 25%, capacity not to exceed 100 people. Glad to see that more Chromebooks were ordered for students. I see there are 240 Chromebooks ordered. Will that be enough for each student to have a 1-to-1 ratio? The second part of my question is about internet access. I've spoken to some parents who could not make use of Chromebooks because they didn't have access to the internet. I know their survey was posted about distant learning, which asked about internet access, but how will you assess which families have internet access if the survey is anonymous? I see that there will be a summer feeding program. That is great. Will the frequency of distribution remain the same? At which point will the format of school be announced? Is it still info pending this week's announcement from the governor? Once the governor makes his announcement, will the board be able to make a decision, or will you need to wait for BOE guidance? How will grading be assessed for next school year? Will students who did not do well and or missed having adequate learning environments during the last semester get extra help? There were many parents who were essential workers, and there will be many parents who have to return to work, making it impossible for them to work with their child during the day. How will those students be identified? I see a new math textbook series. Which grade levels are those for? Any changes to the ELA curriculum? Last question was, are there any plans to introduce additional advanced or honors programs? I know we have HEP in the elementary grades. We're just going to go bullet by bullet to respond to these.
The Chromebook, yes, they will be one-to-one once we receive the 240 that will be ordered this week. That will be one-to-one. We are working with Verizon right now to come up with hotspots for those in need. And once we have an idea what it will cost the school district, not the families, then we will go and identify through an email, a splash, a robocall to find out what families are in need. The summer program for feeding will be just as it's been since the pandemic and being closed down, yes.
And to the question related to at which point will the format of school be announced, will that be simultaneous with the DOE guidance? It is our understanding that the governor will be making an announcement tomorrow with the Commissioner of Education, and thereafter New Jersey's reopening plan with guidance will be provided to chief school administrators and school boards. The next bulleted question was, how will the grading be assessed for next school year? Our goal is to implement live virtual instruction should we remain on stay-at-home orders. We have no plans on modifying our grading policy, as teachers will be teaching live and in person to students who may be home remotely. We're going to enter the year implementing district-wide benchmark assessments. Those benchmark assessments will allow us to better understand learning losses and learning gains during school closures. Thereafter, we will be implementing data-driven instructional cycles to address gaps that students may come to school with. We are also planning on providing additional help and support for our most vulnerable students and those who have experienced the widest gaps. If in fact we are still virtual, we will establish a virtual homework help center and leverage some of our best teachers in the district to stand before our students and deliver instruction. The next question was about a new math textbook series. We've actually, over the past month and a half, we've examined all of our curricular resources, pre-K through 12th grade, in core content areas, math, ELA, science, and social studies. As a result of that examination, we found that the math textbook series that we was using was not aligned to the Common Core standards, and as such, we requested an upgraded textbook series, and we got that at a minimum cost. We are currently revising our ELA curriculum, more to come on that later. Again, the goal is to address any gaps that we saw in existing programs we were using. The final question was about additional advanced placement or honors programs, and as the community knows, we're in the preliminary stages of planning our own magnet school here in Hillside, but I must say that our top priority is access to rigor for all students in the Hillside Public Schools. That access will be revealed through our curriculum guides and our curriculum resources, which are being updated and upgraded. Thank you.
We have time for one more to be read into the minutes publicly. That will be with Mr. Gregory as well. He has one behind the other. And the rest of the comments that we have received, all regarding the transfers of the teachers and or the principals, they are all already in the hands of the board members, hard copy, and they will all be published on the website as part of our public comment area. So this will be the last one within our time frame.
Kimberly Ungerman, 855 Winchester Ave. I recognize that this is an incredibly fluid and challenging time to be in a leadership position in this town, or anywhere. Thank you for your continued work for our district. This format, where we are not allowed to have more interaction during public comment, is very frustrating. We will continue to ask for something more interactive than YouTube and having emails read aloud, like Zoom, Google Meet, WebEx, Microsoft Meet, or even Facebook Live, which is approved by Governor Murphy for use in public meetings. These tools allow you to control, mute comments, and allow participants the ability to provide immediate feedback when there are audio issues or seek clarity on something stated. Hopefully, the board will make all necessary adjustments to allow the July meeting to be held with the public present, given the reduction of limits for congregation. In light of the fact that we continue to use a limited format that makes it difficult for constituents to fully and properly participate in public comment, please make sure that you read every email in its entirety as provided. If you skip a comment because it is repetitive, you're taking away someone's voice, and it does not normally happen during live public comment. I would like to encourage more proactive management of planning and communication. There was no reason that the district grading policy was released during the last week of school. UCVTS and neighboring towns had clear grading policies defined in the first week of May. In addition, the policy that was defined was poorly communicated to families and teachers, and there was significant confusion surrounding the policy. There was also no opportunity for any feedback from parents, since it was communicated with only days before report cards were distributed. Thank you for posting the survey to obtain feedback from parents regarding the start of next school year. When do we anticipate communicating a plan out to parents and students? The different options will severely impact families, and they will need time to prepare for any changes to the school day, half days or alternating days of school with remote learning, etc. This also impacts teachers significantly. The more transparency and opportunity for discussion on this, the better. It is important that we find manageable solutions. Questions on tonight's agenda. There were sweeping changes from the first agenda to be revised. I hope we don't see another round of changes again. I see budget allocated for 240 Chromebooks. Happy to see us working to address gaps that should we need to continue remote learning in the fall. Question, are we also securing any insurance or maintenance plans for the Chromebooks? There will inevitably be issues with Chromebooks, and we need a robust way to swap out and maintain these tools. Second question, what is the work being done on Woodfield Stadium's fence? Third question, I am happy to see that we will be extending food services contract for lunch distribution for children this summer. Can we please also extend distribution to AP Mars or the high school? Right now, the closest school location for people who live near AP Mars is Hurton Looker. This is over a 2-mile walk in each direction for some residents in town. It's not sustainable for a child to walk that distance round trip with 3 days worth of food in bags, especially when they are picking up lunches for more than one child. As parents return to work, this becomes more important. In addition, the lines at HL can sometimes be long, and on more than one occasion, they ran out of food. The next available location when that happens is WOK, not sustainable for someone walking to get food. The PTA leaders have been trying to assist by identifying parents' children who are unable to get to the schools themselves and picking up food and delivering it to students. But this is difficult to sustain as we also have to return to work. No child should be going hungry because the meals being offered are too far away. Final question, please explain the rationale for the whirlwind of changes for principals, vice principals, moving Ms. Lowe, Mr. Graham, Ms. Palmer-Gilliard, Mr. Rotunda, and Ms. Davis from respected schools to new one. I am gravely concerned about the frequent leadership changes at WOK in the last year. This is not good for that school. It is also incredibly disruptive for your teachers. In addition, it is incredibly unfair to present changes like this without first discussing it with admins and teachers. They deserve advance notice. Good leaders treat their employees with more respect. Thank you for your attention to these questions. Stay safe. We hope to see you all in person in July.
Regarding the first one, the maintenance of the Chromebooks, technology department is working on that now to ensure that we have backup Chromebooks as they do not hold up with a student. The Woodfield Stadium fence has an area where students have been able to access the field. We're addressing that to make it less accessible to the students during off hours, which we've been living in off hours. Matt and I will be observing the continuance of the food program and make any adjustments to the locations as necessary. And once again, the transfers are a personnel matter that cannot be addressed publicly. A motion to close public session? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. This time, we're going to go into our committee reports. Ms. Best can give a report from Finance.
The Finance Committee met on June 19th to discuss said items on our agenda for tonight.
Ms. Laurel, can you take education?
Education Committee met on June 19th to discuss items.
And on, special take notes of the grants.
The committee met June 19th to discuss certain improvements to our buildings and grounds in the district.
And labor met to discuss personnel and labor issues. At this time, we're going to have our superintendent's report.
Good evening, Madam President, Vice President, esteemed Board of Education members, and the Hillside School community. On Tuesday, we concluded a year I'm sure none of us will ever forget. I want to congratulate our graduating seniors in the class of 2020 who will be graduating live and in person as announced in July. Our 8th graders who are transitioning into our high school will also be graduating live and in person during the month of July, and also to all students and their families for their achievements during the 3rd trimester and 4th marking period. Honor roll certificates have been mailed, and we continue to anxiously await New Jersey school reopening plan, which is scheduled to come out tomorrow. We have provided families an online survey. I would encourage all families to visit our website. We ask that you participate, as it will provide you an opportunity to give us feedback on your virtual learning experience this spring, but also to weigh in on your preference for school reopening in September. The governor's office will ultimately define what school reopening will look like, but we've been continuing to explore various models implemented in the United States and abroad. This global pandemic has provided us the well-needed opportunity to reimagine our schools and the way we inspire our students. Access to high-quality curriculum and curriculum resources remains a top priority for our school district, along with supporting our students' socio-emotional well-being. While I am confident we have the right people on the bus, we are ensuring they are in the right seats and that the bus is headed in the right direction to influence outcomes for our students. I want to be clear to this school community, we are not returning in September to business as usual. My entry plan was entitled New Visions, New Pathways, New Possibilities for a reason. Change is needed. It's a part of education and a part of life. We will be implementing changes in key curricular areas, most importantly, changes in district-wide practices and procedures to ensure we give teachers and school leaders the skills they need to provide our students a world-class education. We should never forget the definition of insanity. If we expect different outcomes, we have to do things differently. While our students are accustomed to change, they have a new teacher every year, and at least 3 or 4 times in their academic careers, they change schools. Adults tend not to want it. They get very comfortable. When we fail to embrace change, we fail to improve outcomes. Part of my job as a chief school administrator and this Board of Education's job is to ensure every decision we make is made on behalf of our students. A great teacher and a great leader can teach and lead anywhere. As a district, we are steadfast committed to going from good to great. We will not get there investing in programs, instead investing in the growth and development of our educators who service our students. To that end, next week we begin a robust Summer Leadership Institute where we will train all district and school leaders on common practices we'll be introducing and rolling out next school year. Systemic failures require systemic solutions. As we forge a united front committed to excellence and transformation, I want to remind everyone we are one school district. We must break out of our silos, let go of our egos, and embrace the change our students and this amazing community needs. We have over 3,000 reasons why we must get better, and look forward to servicing all students in September of 2020. I wish you continued health and safety. Please enjoy your summer. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to take a motion to go into executive session. Motion.
Second.
Be it resolved pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act that the Board of Education meet in closed executive session at the time to discuss matters related to personnel, labor negotiations, and attorney-client privilege. The board will reconvene in public session at the conclusion of the closed session. The matters discussed in closed session will be disclosed to the public as soon as the need for confidentiality no longer exists. motion to go back into public session?
Motion.
Second? At this time, Ms. Best, can you move items under finance?
I would like to move items 1 through 12 under finance.
Second.
Second, Eleanor. Motion, Ms. Best. One quick moment of attention, if you would, to number 9, before we vote on finance. This has been a real issue in where to hold the money that's coming out of this current budget. Capital reserve is what's been written into the motion, but since that time, I've discovered with our auditors that there are other reserves that we can add in, and I would like to add into that whereas, after capital reserve, emergency reserve and/or maintenance reserve. The emergency reserve, I've discovered recently, as other school districts are attempting to hold on to any leftover funds from this year, to be able to utilize them in case these state aid cuts do go through next year. Capital reserve funds are very difficult to utilize to gap the budget. It's strictly for capital items. So if you would please update number 9 to add emergency reserve and/or maintenance reserve after capital reserve, and it will be reflected in the minutes. Thank you, Ms. Bell. Any other questions on finance besides my own? Ms. Best?
Yes.
Ms. Hartman?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Lofton?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Salters?
Yes.
Mr. Shapiro?
Yes.
Ms. Wall?
Yes.
Ms. Cook?
Yes. Mr. Lofton, can you move items under buildings and grounds?
Motion to move items 1 through 3 on buildings and grounds.
Or second?
Second.
Any questions? Ms. Best?
Yes.
Ms. Hartman?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Lofton?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Salters?
Yes.
Mr. Shapiro?
Yes.
Ms. Wall?
Yes.
Ms. Cook?
Yes. Ms. Laurel, can you move items under education?
Yes. Motion to move items 1 through 5 and then 7 and 8.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? Ms. Best?
Yes.
Ms. Hartman?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Lofton?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Salters?
Yes.
Mr. Shapiro?
Yes.
Ms. Wall?
Yes.
Ms. Cook?
Yes. Mr. Shapiro, can you move items under labor?
Yeah, I'd like to move items 1 through 3 and 5 through 26 under labor, and amend number 2 to reflect the June 30th date.
Second.
Second, Mr. Lofton. It's items 1 through 3 with number 2 amended and numbers 5 on. Any questions? Ms. Best?
Yes to everything except for 21C.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yes to everything except for 21C.
No to 21C.
Correct.
Please note once again that number 4 is not included in this motion. Ms. Harvey?
Yes to 1 through 19, no to 20, no to 21, H, K, M, N, and O, yes to all the others, and yes to 22 through 26.
Let me read that again. No to 20, 21H,
K,
K,
M, N, and O,
M, N, and O,
and yes to 23 through 26.
and yes to the rest. Thank you. Mr. Howard?
Yes to 1 through 19. No to 20. No to 21. H. And 21H is what I'm getting.
So no to 20 and to 21H?
H and K.
Thank you.
H and K.
Thank you. Mr. Lofton?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Stay.
On the entire?
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Salters?
Yes to everything except item 20 and 21, item H, and item K.
Mr. Shapiro?
Yes to everything, abstaining from 25.
Ms. Morrow?
Yes.
Ms. Cook?
Yes.
All items appear to have passed. Can I get confirmation on that?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Harmon?
Yes, this is a resolution to approve the settlement of case number 02-20-1162, currently pending before the U.S. Department of Education. This resolution does not include any monetary payment or any admission of liability.
Motion.
Second. Questions? Ms. Best?
Yes.
Ms. Harmon?
Yes.
Mr. Howard?
Yes.
Mr. Lofton?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Salters?
Yes.
Mr. Shapiro?
Yes.
Ms. Morrow?
Yes.
Ms. Cook?
Yes. Anyone have any old business? Motion to close?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.